Yo, good night. What's going on, guys? We're here again at Dinner in the Movies, and let's swing into action. We just finished watching Spider-Man Far From Home, and this movie was amazing. It was beyond my expectations, and we're about to get into why. But first, before we even get into that, let's watch that trailer. Roll that, Jones.
Bro.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
Heads up, Nick Fury's calling you.
I don't really want to talk to Nick
Answer
Fury.
the phone.
Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him.
I think MJ really likes me. That reminds me when I first fell in love.
You're a very difficult person to contact.
Spider-Man.
Snap tore a hole in our dimension. We have a job to do.
You're coming with us.
What do you want, Peter? I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ, I am Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
You going to step up or not?
So, yo, it ain't fun unless we eating and talking about this stuff. We're dining on some Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. I'm eating on my fries before
I got
the
the
video even started.
30-piece nuggets because I'm greedy like that.
So we didn't eat. So don't act shy. You know what you did.
I wasn't not gonna own
that
it.
12.
You got a
that
30
8.
piece. I got a 30 piece
Wait,
and a fry,
what
so
are
I'm
these?
good.
2 spicy chicken sandwiches, bro.
Yeah, he's picking out, bro. He's
No,
really picking out.
Boys, let's get straight into it.
Yeah, we got a good conversation.
Good conversation, good food.
The bad, and the better, as always.
And what they could have done better.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
My bad.
Yo, my man was on a roll. All right.
Dude, yo.
Oh, good.
I got problems, bro.
Yo.
All right, words are good. Honestly,
Yo, you
this
start
should be
first.
called The Great. Great was, this movie was better than Homecoming by miles. We had problems with Homecoming, and this fixed a lot of those problems.
As much as I like to hear y'all talk, I just need to interject. This is not spoiler free.
Oh.
And we're about to really talk into
Yeah.
delve into the details of this movie and what made it so goddamn good. All
Thanks
right.
for interrupting, even though that would have been in the thumbnail, but you know, but
See today.
Yeah. But yeah, he was doing more Spider-Man things. I didn't like that in Homecoming how he was barely swinging, and I didn't like. Sorry, I didn't like how they used that swinging scene when he had to run through the park in Homecoming. I didn't like that. I'm like, come on now. There's a time and place for jokes, and they really did a good job of making him do Spider-Man stuff. The first scene with technically Hydro Man, even though he's not. He's just water guy. Big water guy.
Yeah.
He was saving, he knew what he had to do.
Cheese!
That's what I really liked. It wasn't no second guessing. He was like, yo, go, go, go. Then he was like, oh, no, you're not. And then it was just very good. The action scenes were great this time. The first scene with technically Hydro Man, even though he's not. He's just water guy. He was saving, he knew what he had to do. That's what I really liked. It wasn't no second guessing. He was like, yo, go, go, go. Then he was like, oh, no, you're not. And then it was just very good. The action scenes were great.
Oh, that's a first.
Even compared to Spider-Man 2, I think
Sam Raimi.
the second half of this film just
Yeah,
the action scenes from Mysterio's illusion to the very end where they have that face off. It's just like that was pure Spider-Man.
Alright, so what I really liked about the movie, there's a lot of points I want to hit that kind of coalesce with their two things that they liked a lot. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. God, I told her not to text, man.
She was
Sorry.
texting you to say, okay,
Most
I'm not
likely.
gonna text you.
So what I really liked was Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
Yeah, man.
He took that role so seriously.
he bodied it.
As an actor, I think he
Body.
just really, anything that he takes, he just really wants to kill it. And I like that fire. And he really made the movie more serious. And he brought this weight to everything that Spider-Man had run into, the betrayal. I mean, first it was the friendship and being like this cool like mentor, filling the spot for Iron Man, and then you know, sweeps the rug right out of this dude's feet, takes everything that Spider-Man, like the confidence and all the stuff that he's kind of getting from Mysterio ends up just falling flat and making this guy put himself against the wall and grow the hell up.
Mysterio! I'm using that stupid fishbowl of yours as a snow globe.
Wait.
When we
explain what happened.
Oh, okay. Let's explain what happened.
You know, you already know if you're in this content creator life, mistakes happen. You think you're recording, next minute you check, you're not recording. Plain and simple, we thought we were recording for like probably 20 minutes and
turn that only 31 seconds recorded.
Yeah.
So the
phone died.
Yeah, so we were supposed to have Chick-fil-A. You were supposed to watch it that.
I got half chicken.
So delicious.
Well, all right, for me, I really love the adventure aspect of this movie. He was all over the place. I mean, we already knew from the trailers he was already traveling to Europe, but he was traveling to different locations, different countries, and we got to see him interact with his posse. Mysterio was just a standout role. Smart villain. Him and his crew were smart as hell, and they thought about a lot of the loopholes, that a lot of stupid enemies you find, a lot of stupid villains in most movies. It just, they covered all. They crossed their T's and everything. You know, they just did fire.
Yeah,
So,
that callback was something serious. Even going back to the dude in Iron Man.
He built it in the game.
Tony Stark built it in the game.
Love that line, yo.
And a bunch of squads.
yo.
It's like so
great.
funny because that's such a memorable scene.
Yeah.
For people that, you know, are fanboys about
love
this,
that.
and then bringing him back.
Yeah.
Because he was like a throwaway. Nobody cared about him.
No one,
Like,
you never thought watching
Yeah,
the first Iron Man,
Yeah.
they were gonna bring that back. Like that was perfect, bro.
Nice touch.
You didn't, because everyone thought Barf was originally gonna be an Endgame. Remember, that's what people were speculating, but no, that was wrong. And then they were like, "Nah, it's coming back." So
That was just disrespectful.
we gotta look out for everything with Marvel.
Barf was just something else.
yeah.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
Yeah.
That was-
Tony's a dickhead.
Yeah, he really be bringing it on to himself.
Yeah.
Like, bro, come on.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
I'm gonna add in there. I thought Endgame was gonna be the wrap up. They had said, I think Kevin Feige said no. Far From Home is the end of the Phase 3 saga, but for this, it's just going into this movie. You can clearly see that this is the end
Yeah.
of that era, the end of the Tony Stark story. They wrapped it up perfectly, and they showed why. Unlike Homecoming, why Spider-Man is about to be the face of the MCU. He really, the second half of the movie is just phenomenal. That he makes this transition into the hero we know he could be and he should be. And it's just, you couldn't help but be proud of this Spider-Man by the end of it. And it's like, this is definitely Tony's successor in these films. And I was like, that's the perfect way to send off Tony and start the new era of films.
Mysterio's illusions, bro.
Yo,
that
crazy.
Was the sickest.
I never expected to see that in a
the
film.
sickest.
Yeah.
That was
Never-
the sickest thing, bro. It literally felt like the animated series.
Yeah.
That's why I
Dude,
love.
you just made me forget. Oh my God, you just made me remember.
Yeah, the
All right,
illusions
so
were just great.
the illusions
bro.
were great. I mean, the grittiness. This dude got hit by a freaking train, man.
Dude,
Moving
it's just
fast
like
as hell.
he was like first, like it was like Inception when they were jumping dream.
Yeah.
Like Jake Gyllenhaal and Mysterio was just like, all right, let me trick him once, then another time, then another time,
Yo.
then one more time.
Everybody knows that the best way to learn is under intense, life-threatening pressure.
My thing was the Peter Tingles. I hate that name, but I love that he used his spider sense
Yeah,
to fight
they-
this dude
Yeah,
with
that
fire.
was sick,
They
bro.
developed it really well over the course of these movies, from Homecoming
To Endgame.
To Endgame.
I mean, Infinity War.
Infinity War, when you saw him on the bus,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then this one, it was like his real Neo moment where
Yeah.
he just
And I love how he showed him with his eyes closed.
Yeah,
he was just
ultra
like
instinct,
dodging
yo.
off. Yeah, that was
Like,
sick, bro. Real
he
hero
didn't know
moment.
that Mysterio was tricking him. when
Yeah.
he was trying to shoot him. I was like,
Oh yeah, I would have fell for the okie doke.
yeah.
Make a fool out of me, will you?
Oh man, 10 out of 10 mid-credit scene. I had seen reviews.
Yeah, I thought something else.
Non-spoiler reviews, by the way, about what this mid-credit scene was gonna be, and I was just blown away, just like everybody else in the theater who literally was like, what the hell just happened? They started off the mid-credit scene. I think it was longer than most mid-credit scenes. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But they started off so pleasant, and you just think that, okay, he's going on a date with MJ. Or he's going and he swings her around. And not only do they introduce that older actor that was J. Jonah Jameson from the Sam Raimi trilogies, but then they go as far to have Mysterio reveal that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, which is tied to the callback of Iron Man 1, where Iron Man reveals that that Tony Stark reveals that he's Iron Man. It's like, not only did they manage to wrap the movie up in a way that services what happened in the first Iron Man, but to do it all again.
You are such a nerd.
It was very well done. I thought, because I kept hearing Norman Osborn things. I thought, especially the building, that big building, he was fine. Yeah. But what I forgot to say, the most important thing that we watched Into the Spider-Verse before we went to go see the movie. And I love what they did. It was like they were doing a lot of things that this PS4 and all this thing. The swinging, I love when they showed Spider-Man swinging at the end of the movie. Beautiful. And I love when they show him texting. I don't know why. Yeah. Every time when he's texting, he's swinging. He's like, that's
doing the
cool.
selfie.
Like that,
reminded me of like,
the PS4. It was like just so cool how he just like, it's always Spidey doing like casual things, but in his way.
This is probably my top 5 Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It really just elevated. A lot of it was just crazy.
But all movies can't be perfect, so we got to get into the bad. The first half, and that is because of Spider-Man and his friends, and they weren't bad jokes, but I just felt like it was too jokey in the beginning. Yeah. Which I kind of get, but it just... Actually, I don't get. I didn't like it. I didn't like the jokes in the beginning.
Oh, you're always here for me. You're rock solid. And best of all, you laugh at all my jokes.
I didn't like Ned. They gotta do something with Ned's character because I don't like him. Dude. He's a very annoying.
He deserved to be punching his.
Out of all the friends, I only liked MJ. That was the only one I liked because she started helping him. That's what she's useful. That's what I like. They make her productive. Just like they don't make her some damsel in distress. That's cool. But like this other Ned is the damsel in distress. Yeah. Always asking for help. I don't feel anything with Ned.
Not a good friend. I'll tell you that.
I don't feel, and then the other characters like Ned's girl, Flash,
just completely irrelevant characters. They take away. I mean, the teachers take away. They just have them do their teacher stuff. Stop trying to make jokes. You're not funny.
Teenagers, just the worst.
And my thing is, we kind of was talking about Ned. I personally just dislike, let's put it out there, I don't like Flash.
I'm sure you hate him, bro.
Do you want to say something?
I hate Flash, bro. He's a garbage character. I'm sure that kid can act, but whatever direction that they had him going in for Flash, it just makes absolutely no sense. He's not a bully. He's a big loser. And that's all he is throughout the entire movie. Even at the end, his parents don't show up for him. That's how much they don't like him. Bro, come on. I mean, they made it so friggin' clear. My man's always trying to make quips at Peter, and it just bounces off my guy because not only do we know as the audience is this dude cool, but most of the kids realize that how irrelevant this kid named Flash is. Bro, that is a bad thing. He's like, hey, dickwad, looked like he didn't drown. I'm like, dude, shut the hell up.
Just like, why would you want someone to... That's what everyone's saying. It's like, why would you want someone to drown?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, no one's agreeing with Flash. It's like you were saying, it's like a bully is... His strength is the crowd. If the crowd isn't helping him out, then you're nothing.
But
you're irrelevant.
It's the crowd. It's the person you're bullying ignores you. Yeah. He pays no attention to you.
Yeah.
You can't be a bully.
No, they don't make Tom Holland react to nothing he says. Nothing.
And then deep down, he's dick riding Spider-Man. What the hell, bro? You're a loser, dude. Like,
hey, shut up, Flash. Like, leave. And then Brad.
Oh,
waste of time, waste of character.
I mean, he was good for the idea of the blip. I think it was just a reminder.
Yeah, that's it. They should have just left it at that.
You know what's
They could have at least made an attempt that MJ was going for him.
Yeah.
They did just like you knew.
Yeah.
This dude was just a loser. Are you kidding? He sees her with it. I have to tell MJ. What is that gonna do for you, bro? Why would you do that?
Dude's a whole bitch and a half.
Let's just leave it at that.
Piggybacking off of what you guys said, with these supporting characters, and I think that's why the first half of the film was really unmistakably weaker than the second half. Because
how about we go digging for an explanation?
Actually, let me go into this point. In the Raimi trilogies of Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, the biggest complaint was that Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in those films, was not making a lot of quips. He wasn't that funny, he wasn't throwing around jokes all the time. Well, in Homecoming, this Spider-Man's not throwing around any jokes. I don't see that being the same complaint from these fanboys, right? Which I think is completely unfair because that's really the only thing they hold against the previous trilogy and them not liking Kirsten Dunst as MJ. Here in these films, they dedicate most of the comedy towards these supporting characters. It's not that funny, and it takes away from Peter's story.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why are we watching these other characters make jokes every 3 to 5 seconds?
Well, that's Hollywood for you.
And I have a problem with that. We could talk about it later. Jokes take away from the seriousness of the situations, and that's one of the reasons these films, particularly these Spider-Man films, cannot elevate to the level of a Spider-Man 2.
Sam
Raimi's Spider-Man. That's the only one.
Oh, that's Amazing Spider-Man.
But you got Amazing.
I got you.
Yeah. So when you continue to do this and you have these supporting characters getting so much screen time, it not only takes away from Peter, but now we have these supporting characters that they've taught us to either like, love, or just tolerate. Ned is the tolerate. Love is Aunt May. We like Happy. But it takes away from Peter's struggle, whereby Peter he's a tragic character through and through. His funniness only comes out when he's Spider-Man, essentially, because usually he can't pay his bills. He can't attend school the way that he wants. He's always late for things. And his family and friends usually don't know these things. They don't know why he's missing it, and they're always giving him crap for it, rightfully so, because he's missing out on important things. But the struggle is he can't tell them because it puts them in danger. He can't tell them because he's Spider-Man and he has to go do whatever Spider-Man has to do. You take away that impact, you take away the core of what Peter's struggles are by letting his family and friends be super supportive of him. MJ knows, Happy knows, Ned knows, even Aunt May knows, and seems to be perfectly okay with it. When in other iterations, Aunt May is usually worried. She's like, what's going on? Aunt May usually can't pay the bills. It's like, this Aunt May is like, I'm totally okay with everything you're doing, bro.
Yeah, if it was classic Spider-Man, he wouldn't have been able to afford a trip to Europe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, Peter's problems are not the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the New York growing up teenager problems. It's on the world scale. It's like, he's an Avenger now. So it's like, I don't know how you can pull that back to being just focused on a local level when you've elevated this dude to basically Iron Man 2 / Spider-Man. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, tone it back on focusing so much, and his privilege, and focusing so much on these ancillary characters, because at the end of the day, these movies still have to work with just Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Spider-Man. All the other characters are fair game, essentially, to disappear.
I wish I could think of brilliant plans like that.
I was able to tolerate the first half of this film, but if any of that crap with the comedy seeped into the majority of the second half, I think this film would have suffered from it.
Scores too. We forgot to mention.
Oh yeah. And we rate this film very highly. I gave it about an 8.5.
Yeah, I gave it an
8.5.
Yeah.
8.5. Yeah.
So we're being critical of it, but it's just like these are points to bring up.
Yeah.
Just like how idiotic it is almost for Tony to give Edith to Peter, a 16-year-old kid, when he has Rhodey, he has Pepper, and by the way, he didn't know Cap was gonna go turn old. Yeah. You would think most logically he would have given it to Cap. Cap would have had his reservations naturally. He's like, I don't want to have access to all these weapons.
Yeah.
But Cap would be the natural.
And it was cool how they actually, going back to this, cool how they confirmed he's dead.
Yeah.
They confirmed Cap is dead.
That's
that was cool. Yeah.
Vision is
Vision. I think I heard some chuckles when Vision came up. Honestly.
Yeah, nobody cared about that.
I don't care about Vision, but
machine.
Yeah. So what would we do better?
I honestly would just cut down on the jokes and just help these. We can't necessarily cut all these supporting characters out anymore because we've created some kind of permanence with them. But show how they could potentially help drive maybe some drama, but in a unique way for Spider-Man. Do not do the cliche go to like Ned's like, Peter, you just don't have any more time for me.
Tell him to stop, please.
What's going on? We used to be friends. Bro, you're not really friends, dude. You're selfish as hell, and no one likes that. So I would just focus on making sure that MJ, like the PS4, take notes. If she's able to help Spider-Man in the sense that she takes up a job, an internship where she's doing stuff in the area of like being a detective, cool. Then she can kind of feed into
then
what Spider-Man does.
They have scenes with her taking photographers, and then you get a taser. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want that. Hated those missions.
I don't know if we can really talk about this or if it's safe to even talk about, but why does Michelle, whatever was her name? Jones? Why does she look like that?
Look like what?
Not Mary Jane.
Not Mary
She's
Jane.
not Mary Jane.
She's not Mary Jane, but they want us to assume she's MJ because he references her always as MJ now, not whatever he did in the first movie.
They're pulling a Dark Knight Rises.
Oh my god.
Where it's like I forget the name of the character, but they reveal his real name is Robin at the end.
Oh yeah.
So it's like so they get away with the fact that he's Robin. They introduce Robin. I'm just saying they tried to pull some bait and switch and introduce a Mary Jane later. It's just gonna rub all of us the wrong way.
Anyways, I think they need to. Yeah, because I didn't care about what you guys were saying. That's why.
Hold on, Kimasabi.
All right, shut the hell up.
But Aunt May, I still think they need to fix her.
Oh, dude,
she's way too irrelevant. She's way too
because for sexy jokes. That's it.
I don't like that. I really don't like that. She was supposed to be. Wasn't it the whole thing was like, yo, if May find out, she's gonna kill me because she's trying to protect Peter.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's like I wanted kind of like a My Hero moment when his mom and he kept getting injured.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, I don't want you doing this anymore. Just like there was none of that with Aunt May. It just seems like she doesn't care. It seems like a family friend. That's the problem with Aunt May. It just seems like she watches over him. But that's it. It's like, I get it. It's not gonna be like Sam Raimi, but I want more of like a protective sister. That's what I'm thinking. Like more like jabs. She makes fun of him. Yeah. But then when it's serious, just like, yo, I'm gonna protect him no matter what.
Yeah. The problem is she seems more like an older sister than his aunt.
Yeah.
And if they want to fix this problem, they need to make that transition.
They need to have more scenes with both of them.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
Aunt May in these movies, oh crap, she's supposed to be his rock, his ultimate form of support, the one that knows without being told.
Yeah.
And supposed to have this understanding. It's like these movies have moved so far away from the Parker component of these films that you're kind of wondering like, where's it going? You don't talk about Uncle Ben. you've essentially substituted Iron Man for Uncle Ben.
Yeah, and real quick with that, it's just like the problem I have a problem with that is like the reason why Tony picked Peter was because Ben taught him that stuff. Like he wasn't just born when he was 16. Like someone had to teach him how to behave.
Yeah.
And what responsibility is. That's why I think Ben should be mentioned.
Yeah, you kind of pretty much nailed it.
No, I agree with you 100%. You take away
and Aunt May.
Yeah, you take away the essence of what makes Peter without showing why he's molded the way that he is. With all of these characters in whether it be Superman, you understand that Jonathan Kent played a very pivotal role in his life. And then when Jonathan passes, Martha continues to play a pivotal role. In these movies, it's very, because they've made Peter take on this mantle so quickly, he's getting input from all these different people.
Where do all these guys come from?
And the person that he should be getting it from, he's not getting it because they don't have any scenes with them together. And it's like, this is one of the reasons why these films don't have the emotional heart as the first Spider-Man trilogy. Because there was an understanding that, when situations are serious, you don't tell an effing joke every 5 seconds. It takes away from the seriousness of the matter.
Oh, that was so funny.
Secondly, when Peter goes through something, thankfully in this movie, his struggles are supposed to be universal. Peter, to me, has always been that hero where everybody saw themselves as. Most people didn't grow up as an alien that landed in Kansas. Yeah. Most people don't have both their parents gunned down in front of them. And obviously most people don't have a radioactive spider bite them. But most people have problems with getting the girl. Most people have problems paying the bills. Most people have to deal with having responsibilities that makes them sacrifice, the things that they want for what they have to do.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
That part is what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. And this is one of the first films that they've had with him in it where I felt, wow, okay, this Peter Parker is dealing with stuff that everybody has to struggle with. But it lacks the emotional heart that it needs to because they move away from it so quickly. The bad things that happen only seem to resonate for a few seconds, and it doesn't continue to drive the character's motivation. The film is force-feeding it. It's not an intuitive understanding that it's like what Peter's going through is something that his decisions that he's making is a decision all of us would make if we were that good. And that's what these films are going to have to do, is express the savior complex in Peter. That is not something that, this responsibility was thrusted on me by Iron Man and by the Avengers. It's that this responsibility is innate. This is something that's been built within me, like you said, by Uncle Ben, by that understanding. It's like,
and Aunt May. That's what I would do
I think
better
that might
in this
be
film.
A little bit more. I think I understand why they may have went with the direction. I mean, it's just been so much crap, and even for a 16-year-old, you're like, bro, I need a break. You were in space, you were fighting, and then you lost your mentor because he kind of has daddy issues. If you look, he's always looking for someone to be his role model, and so he just wants a moment to breathe because I can't be doing the saving thing every freaking day of my life. Like, I gotta go eat, I gotta go sleep, I gotta go relax. And you don't really think about a hero having that opportunity, so you were able to see it from that vantage point. But I definitely understand moving forward, he's got to be way more adult about this. He needs to be like 18, 19, 20, like, yo.
No, they're going to make him go through high school, I think.
Okay.
Finish high school.
He should, be growing.
I think Aunt May, I definitely think Aunt May needs to be in it more.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm scared for your point is, you say now, he has this weight of the world on his shoulder, you can understand why. We're going to get to that Spider-Man movie, because just natural evolution of how these movies go, where his character is going to want to hang up the mantle of being Spider-Man. and then he's gonna have to decide again.
Yeah.
I need to be Spider-Man. Well, it's gonna kind of feel like a rehash of this, and that's why it's just like, hopefully they got this out of the way.
Yeah.
But I know it's not the truth. There's gonna be some point where he's like, I can be Spider-Man no more, and it's like,
let's pray they don't.
well, dude, you dealt with much worse.
You fought Thanos.
You fought Thanos. Like, I feel like they boxed themselves
Thanos,
in, but I'm willing to give them benefit of the doubt because, like I said, this movie proved me wrong, and I'm happy about that.
Very happy about that. I want to know what they said they might do 9 Spider-Man movies. I want to see to the point where they get to Prime Spider-Man, like Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that because I was very happy about that. How they still made a new Spider-Man and still made you feel like he had a lot of like the weight of the world on him, even though he should have a little bit less responsibilities as an adult, maybe because he doesn't have school and all that. But you still have a lot of responsibilities, and they really did that in that game. So I would want to see a point where they get to Prime Spider-Man, where he's out of school, out of college. And he's just doing Spider-Man stuff. He has a job, an apartment. That would be cool if they were to get to that. So
I think we talked a pretty good amount. I mean, 2019, man, you brought it with Endgame, and then you gave us Spider-Man.
I would much rather watch this several times over than Endgame.
Yeah, it's just way too long, and I think there's the fight scenes, and it's just like I'm so freaking proud.
I'm watching Endgame. Endgame for life, yo.
All right, cool. We'll see you in 3 hours. Anyways, 2019, we got those 2 movies. John Wick and John Wick. Those are 3 solid movies. And Shaft. Oh God.
Look, Shaft was a good movie. Shaft was a great movie.
That was a plug. We're plugging Shaft. It was really good. Definitely check it out. It's kind of late. We saw it. We didn't get to do a review.
Lion King's next.
Lion King is next. So we're gonna get to see Simba roar. All right. So. All right, y'all have a good night. Fill your bellies and get some good sleep. And we'll see you at the next Darren Movies. Peace, love, and hair grease.